Western garage door, they make helicopters as well. Seriously? Well, they're the same factory, but you know.
Only you would know these sorts of things.
Order a spare 50 thing for it.
Yeah. That's the thing.
That is a thing. Obviously with all the...
We won't mention anything else that's...
Ignore all that. Obviously with all the building we've got... Yeah, ignore that bit.
What's that up there?
That's just resting there, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, very dusty it's been, so we've got genuine barn fine patina.
Barn fine.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be making jars of sort of dust and stuff that you can then sprinkle on old motorcycles. And
oh, we could sell that.
You could sell that.
Yeah. So, it is a 2004?
Yeah, I think it said 5 on the import certificate.
Right.
The 54 plate.
Okay.
Indian Royal Enfield, was a Royal Enfield bullet from India as opposed to a Royal Enfield bullet from Redditch.
Which means it's right hand change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they took the whole line. I'm just freestyling here at this point, making up the history. From
Down the ditch.
From down in Redditch in the 60s, I think.
Yeah.
And then they did some local iteration, like changes on the bike. Until they got to, I don't quite know when they went to EFI and all that shenanigans. Yeah, that's way later.
Yeah, I'll dig into that.
Very much similar to
as it would have been
bought in the 60s. So then obviously it's made its way from India to the UK to Yorkshire and then down to Cornwall and then sometime in Cornwall and then it's come up to Northamptonshire. It's been here now for I think a year.
A year?
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously the time it's been here it's done nothing. Did start though when it got here, so
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're not too far away.
Yeah, and not that spoiler alert. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a runner.
Yeah.
Or has been.
Has been a runner.
Okay. So we'll chuck this in the van and then make a plan. Hello folks, welcome back. So this is the very first episode on the Royal Enfield, and as is evident by its absence, Emily's waiting. We're going to go and wash the bike. That's a face.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wasting daylight, you are.
Should make it like she's been waiting ages.
You're wasting I have been waiting ages.
Why are we doing this?
Because you've just said it's starting to smell.
Oh, she's getting everything.
And so
wet.
I thought, whilst we've got some daylight, we'll make use of it. And I've got some energy about me.
Shoes? Don't. I've got the camera in my hand.
Oh, that's not going to save you.
Do I need to start washing? I suppose I could put the camera down, couldn't I? You got the GT85?
I haven't got anything other than a sponge and a bucket of few water. Look at how pitted these wheels are.
Yeah, they are bad. Before we do a deep clean, probably ought to show some of the gruft.
Oi!
What happened?
What happened is I think you're going to sleep with one eye open. Oh my God. Keep spraying me that stuff. You're on my nerve.
I'm trying to get the muck off.
So funny. He thinks he's hilarious.
Yeah, you did find that funny then. I can tell.
I wish I didn't find you funny sometimes.
But you do.
I do like the badges.
Royal Enfield.
Now, I don't know. Remind me of the story of this bike. What is first of all, tell me what the
Enduro India.
Euro race is.
This is the logo. Here, look.
Yes, I've seen them.
So Enduro India was a website set up a company set up that, having done some further reading, has, I wouldn't say, maybe a checkered history. Doesn't exist anymore, but from what I read, essentially they set up the route and they would buy the bikes in from Royal Enfield in India, and you could fly out there, and the whole thing was in support of charity. I can't remember what charity it was.
Okay, so the race was a charity race.
It wasn't really a race. It was like a group of people transversing across India on what you could potentially call an inappropriate motorcycle, but they managed to do it.
Okay.
From one place to another, semi-guided type thing, and then at the end they would auction the bikes off, or sell the bikes, I believe, with the money going to charity. Okay. And the firm that arranged it, they made their money by what the people paid to go and do the event in the first place. But it came a lot to light. There was a whole thing about the money that the Enduro India company, the price they got the bikes for relative to what they were selling them for. So they were making a contribution to charity, but they were potentially taking more cream off the top than perhaps they were letting on. And all that sort of stuff. So that whole thing is a little bit sketchy. And I can't say for certain because I don't know the full ins and outs. But
it sounded like it had good intentions to start off with.
Yeah. And I think the people that were doing it and joining in with it all had very good intentions.
And so that was Tom's father-in-law that joined in with the race.
He joined in with this. Well, he did several actually, because there was an Enduro Africa as well. There's a number of them on different bikes. But he did this one, the Enduro India, and he enjoyed it that much and enjoyed this bike that much that when it came to the end and they were going to go up for sale, he opted to buy the bike. And then he brought it back to the UK, well, had it shipped back and imported. And then I think it was Hitchcock's, the Royal Enfield specialist, who we've actually got some parts of the BSA from before.
Yes, you've mentioned them a couple of times.
Weren't
they at the bike shed show?
No.
No.
But Hitchcock's, I believe, were supplying conversion kits to make them UK road legal.
Okay.
So that you could then MOT it, which included, I think, having your number plate done and these rather strange looking indicators and some other bits in the kit.
So he had this bike, he rode it for however long because it was made road legal, and then since he's passed away it's just been sat. Yeah,
well, it was with, I think, his brother, Katie's uncle anyway. I want to say down south somewhere. There was a number of bikes that Katie's dad owned that ended up kind of split amongst the family. Mm-hmm. And then Katie's uncle basically said, does anybody want to do anything with this, because I don't really want to sell it, but I don't want it. And Tom and Katie said, yeah, we'll have it. And then I can't remember when Tom actually picked it up. It was a while ago, and it has just sat in Tom's garage because obviously he's got.
Well, they've got two little kiddies
very
and
young family, and
they're renovating their house and life stuff.
Yeah, and work and other practices, and God knows what else is going on for him. So I've been badgering him for when he's going to do his bike licence. He said, well, even if I do, I ain't got a bike and I ain't got time to go buying or.
Oh, so what this boils down to is you want to play on your bikes with your friend.
Yeah, my friend.
And your friend hadn't got a bike to play on.
Other than this broken one.
So you said, I'll fix your bike.
Which, funny enough, is exactly what I used to do when I was a kid with people's BMXs.
How you made friends?
Yeah, I'll fix it for you.
I'll fix your bike, you be my friend.
Tyres are going in the bin.
Okay.
He's not happy with those. They've been aged and sat for a long time.
Okay, so they're going because they're not roadworthy.
Yeah, well, I'd probably run them, but they're not rock hard. But they have been on here a while and just sat, so Tom wants fresh tyres on.
So it's not sensible to resell them?
No, I don't
They'd be
think so.
tipped?
No.
We'll put them in the pile of other tyres we've got sat over there.
So yeah, tyres and inner tubes. Got to pull the brakes apart. The front wheel is clicking, so I think, much like your mutt was, probably wheel bearings.
Right.
But we'll check that. Yeah, so probably new brake shoes, par for course. Definitely needs a new brake cable, it's well stretched, and all that needs servicing.
Okay.
Drain and fresh fork oil.
So will that be a similar process to like what we did on Freddy's? When we took the oil out of Freddy's, didn't we?
Oh, the forks,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And the oil was pink?
it was. I don't know what's supposed to go in these, but yeah, so we drain the forks, potentially replace the springs. Tom was looking at that. They do like a dual, what's it called? It's not progressive. It's like dual wound. So two ratings in the spring basically. Mud guards are coming off, front and back. They're going into storage because these are the mud guards that obviously Katie's dad had on.
Yeah.
The Enduro India with, so like things like the decals and stuff that he put on. So we're going to replicate these on the new mud guards, and the same with these, but change the colour scheme a little bit. Then if we move up to the headlight, so all this binnacle's coming off. On the 60s 350 and 400 Bullet, they did an aluminium binnacle. There was a lot less busy, gets rid of these little running lamps, and it just is essentially this portion. And then the headlight will be smaller and standalone with some standard brackets, a bit like the Bonneville. So it'll be new headlight, new binnacle and speedo.
Yeah.
Change the handlebars to something with a little bit more of a rise to it, more Trials-esque.
Okay.
Probably going to ditch this switch gear and just move to single switch gear on the left hand side, same switch gear that's on the BSA at the moment, Lucas type.
Are you having different levers?
Yeah, so we're going to put a set of Doherty grips, levers on,
Yeah.
assemblies, same as the BSA.
Mirrors here?
Now we're going to do that.
No mirrors at all?
No.
So these pieces will come off,
yeah.
so there won't be the holes?
And the Doherty Trials grips.
Yeah.
So that does all the controls. We're having new cables throughout. Probably update the indicators, get rid of these plasticky looking things,
plasticky ones that are
and
down
probably
there.
relocate them to
By the headlight?
by the headlight.
Yeah.
We're keeping the tank.
Yeah, good, because I like the decals.
The tank is staying as it is.
I like the badges.
Then if we come to the engine, so I don't know if you'll see it that side, probably here. We've probably actually washed it all off, but rocker cover is definitely leaking. See all the residue oil here.
Yeah.
And the decompressor
Yeah.
has got a bit of a leak on it, and the head gasket's leaking. So that needs addressing. Also, because it's an India model.
Yeah.
Question?
There was a question I wondered, because you said that we've got to do this like we did on Freddy's. Are the gaskets and stuff easier for these to get? Because we had it was touch and go, wasn't it? With
Gaskets to these are easy to get, and it's dirt cheap to work on.
Oh, okay, excellent.
So yeah, head gasket and that assembly. The other thing is, so in India the fuel quality isn't that good,
Right.
and they run E20, I think it is, high ethanol content. So what they did to cope with that, rather than re-engineer the engine completely, they just completely lowered the compression ratio. I don't know what they lowered it to, but it's a lower compression piston. Hitchcocks do a high compression kit to put this back to what a UK bike would have been in the 60s.
I see, so that it'll run better with the fuel we have over here, because we have E5?
E5, and but the
E10.
bike will go quicker
Yeah.
and just perform better. So yeah, we're going back up to 8:1 compression ratio.
So will we have all new pieces of these?
No.
We're going to
Well,
keep these
but we
ones?
will measure this barrel. We will measure. I did speak to Tom. We'll potentially have this reboard and go up a size in the piston, because we'll see what size it's at, but it will be worn to a degree. So we might go up a size, and then you're completely fresh with the new piston and buy the piston at that size.
I was more thinking, because I think that one looks grufty. I don't know how clean you'd get it, and some of this is going to be shiny. And
Oh, we'll have it blasted.
Okay.
We'll have it blasted, then we'll send it for rebore,
Right.
and then we will paint it enamel black.
Oh, okay.
And then, same with the head, we'll repaint this.
Right, okay, I'm with you.
So that's that. Crank's coming apart, so there is something to do with the oil pressure relief valve in the crank. I need to do some reading on that. Tom was just mentioning that to me today. I think they deleted it for India, and then there's a whole thing about it's there for a reason, and without it, when it's cold, you don't get oil feed to the top as well as you should do, and different things. So we'll get into that's all details.
Bit of bedtime reading for you there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So essentially a full engine rebuild to a point. New mains, bearings, probably clean all the pump, get all this freshened up. There is an issue in the gearbox on upshift, so we're gonna have to pull the gearbox apart and have a look in there. But the kickstart works, that's all good. We'll also be having a look at the primary because we'll have that apart.
Yeah.
The carburettor is an Indian copy of a Mikuni, and we're going to be ditching this because Tom essentially wants it to look like a 60s Bullet.
Right.
So this will have an AML Mark 1 concentric fitted, and we'll get rid of this spacing. There's some details on this to get into. We're putting the airbox back in and getting rid of the cone filter, so we'll have a nice classic style air box in here. Probably going to go shorter on the exhaust and lose some of this weight.
Yeah.
I keep trying to get him to do it trial style and have a high level, but you don't like them and he doesn't like them.
Is this what you think is making it heavy then, when we've just said like it's quite a heavy bike for a 350? Where do you think the weight's coming from?
The weight, it'll be in this. This is pretty heavy. You've got centre stand.
To be saying that, I quite like the centre stand. It's useful.
Yeah, it's cast iron barrel.
Ah, so that's heavy.
So that the engine is by rights heavy anyway. All of this is gauge plate. Frame is a heavy tube frame, and all the mudguards are steel. So all of that is weight.
But if you're changing the mudguards, will you have different materials? So will it be lighter when you've finished?
No.
Ah.
Because he wants to go classic Royal Enfield style anyway.
Keeping the seat?
No.
Okay.
So he's looking at having a single sprung seat here, and then a pillion pad.
Oh, I do remember you telling me that, yeah.
And then the big thing for the back for restarting. So this is India spec mudguards and rails. So you see, you got this square profile.
Hang on, I'm going to come this side because I think I've got the sun
glare.
glaring.
So you got this square profile here, and square profile to the mudguards. The British ones, 60 style, had a nice arch to them.
Right.
And the rails were the same. You can buy that as a complete kit.
Yeah.
With a neater tail light.
Yeah, this tail light's a bit ugly.
The other thing is saving all this stuff that Katie's dad had on the bike, because...
And if we take it off, we can clean it nice and bubble wrap it, box it, and then she can just keep it as memorabilia.
Well, Tom's big concern is if he has it and then something happens to the bike, it ruins this. Yeah. Whereas if it trashes stuff that he's bought to go on it, it can always be put back to this, essentially. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
So we've got that work, then it'd be a new chain, potentially new rear wheel bearings.
Is he keeping this colour or is he changing the black?
No, keep it.
Keeping the black and gold?
Yeah, black and gold. Yeah, so new rear wheel bearings, brakes, new chainless bond sprockets.
Is he having new wheels or just new tyres?
At the moment, just tyres, but knowing Tom, he'll probably have the wheels rebuilt.
Excellent.
Because
so
it's what he's like.
To start cleaning.
We'll see. See where he's at. New rear shocks.
Yeah.
Just put a set of Hagens on it.
Yeah. And obviously all just fresh nuts and bolts, so they're all a bit nicer looking.
Yeah, stainless.
Keeping foot pegs?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. They're
a decent
standard Royal Enfield. But yeah.
That would be a good project. Excited for it. Something different.
That is it.
Yeah. There we go.
So the very next video, I think we'll be pulling it apart.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, we'll try and get it running first, as it sits.
There you go. But yeah, this is our next project. So we've given it a bath. We've got a initial diagnostic of what we're doing. We've got a spreadsheet to create, because we love a spreadsheet that we then don't stick to. It's fantastic.
And a load more work.
And a load more work. So yeah, hope you enjoy this series of the Royal Enfield.
And potentially another Royal Enfield.
and I look forward to seeing what it looks like when we get there. Yeah, we've possibly got another one coming as well, because we had a message from Wreck-It Ren on Instagram asking us to take hers, and we're always open to offers. We've had a couple of people with different bikes, and yeah, we're in the works of being in touch, but we struggle. I think we're gonna, I don't want to use the word struggle, actually, that's not the right word, but if we get any more of this sunshineness happening,
we've got our own bikes to
we will
ride.
go out on our own bikes a bit, yeah. So there'll be a mix of the Enfield in this series as we move forward. There'll be some of us going out on our bikes because it's summer and we haven't quite done that yet. And there'll be a mix of hopefully making this worthy of something that the Bike Shed show people might let us join in with and show next year. I think that could be exciting.
And we've got a Wednesday video coming in the next couple of weeks on the Harley.
A Wednesday video on the Harley.
Should we go and show that?
Our Harley.
Yeah.
Oh, is this your handlebar issue?
So we have the Harley here.
And we have reconfigured our garage lately so that we can fit the Harley, the BSA and the Scrambler in it as well.
And we have an eBay pile.
And we have an eBay pile that we haven't yet actioned either. It's all going well in our house.
We came to push this out, didn't we?
Yes, you did come to push it out, and we discovered, because we've spent winter season fixing somebody else's bike, ours does this.
And the bolts aren't moving.
No bolts moving there.
So the bushes are,
Tired.
yeah, and I don't think, as nice as Aid is, and he will say to me, that needs attention, have a look at that.
Yeah, your MOT man ain't that nice.
I don't think he's going to say, I'll let that go. So yeah, we'll do a full video on that.
So yeah, there's
We've
quite a
got some
bit,
repairs to do, we've got an headlight to change, bushes to do.
quite a bit in the pipeline. So it might be a bit of a mesh and match now, rather than, whereas before it was predominantly
One bike.
Freddie's bike, because we were on time constraints to get that back to him because of the DGR. Now I think it's going to be a bit of a mix of all different things, but we're hoping as well, moving forward, to be a bit more organised and be able to drop you a thumbnail on a Friday, hopefully, fingers crossed, so you'll know what's maybe
Coming.
going to be coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Thank you for your support and for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
See you next one.